Don't act like you belong here. You're just a waitress. Fix your attitude. And your outfit. The woman's voice sliced through the ballroom like a dagger dressed in pearls. Veronica Kingsley didn't whisper when she insulted someone. She wanted people to hear it, wanted her venom to stick. With perfectly manicured fingers, she grabbed the neckline of the young woman's dress and ripped it open, tearing the delicate stitching across the chest in one violent yank. The sound of silk snapping echoed louder than the orchestra playing behind them. Conversations stopped mid-sentence. Champagne glasses froze in the air. Heads turned, gasps followed like falling dominoes. Natalia staggered backward, her hand instinctively covering the torn fabric. Her face turned pale, her mouth opened but no words came out. Just moments before, she had been walking gracefully through the ballroom, greeting guests with a quiet smile. Her navy blue evening gown, custom-made, flowed elegantly, not flashy but tasteful. She wasn't loud, she wasn't showing off. She simply existed. And for Veronica, that was too much. She thinks she's someone, Veronica sneered, turning to the cluster of guests gathering nearby. Wearing that dress, strutting around with her head high, she's not one of us. Probably just a server who forgot her place. Natalia's lips quivered. Not from rage, but from confusion. She hadn't said a single offensive word, not a sarcastic tone, she was just there. But Veronica didn't need a reason. All she saw was a younger, poised woman in a dress she didn't think she deserved to wear. And then, something shifted. Across the ballroom, near the grand staircase, a tall man in a tailored navy suit went completely still. His sharp jaw clenched, and the glimmer of his champagne glass disappeared as he set it down without a word. He watched everything, the humiliation, the ripping, the mockery. And in 2 long strides he was moving. Veronica still hadn't noticed. She was too busy feeling proud of herself. Too busy soaking in the chuckles of the few equally bitter women who always circled her like perfume. Strong at first, but sickening the longer it lingered. But when she heard the voice behind her, firm, low, controlled, her smile dropped. "Mother, what did you just do?" The word mother hit like a cannon. She turned slowly and saw him, Elias Kingsley, her son. The one she used to parade around as a boy genius investor, now a multi-millionaire by his own hands. The one she hadn't seen much in the last few months, the one she still assumed needed her approval. "Elias," she said with a nervous laugh, "you're welcome. I just saved you from a social disaster. That woman, she doesn't belong here. She was making a scene." "She was walking," he interrupted, gracefully. Silently. "And then you assaulted her." Veronica blinked. "Assault? Please, I was putting a little nobody in her place. No, you tore the dress I bought for my wife." Gasps erupted again, louder this time. Faces changed. Some of the same people who had smirked just moments ago now looked mortified. Whispers began flying across tables, sweeping through the ballroom like wind through dry leaves. Veronica froze. "Well, wife?" "Her," she stuttered, but she didn't say anything. "She didn't. I thought she was staff." "You thought. You didn't ask. You assumed." Elias's voice remained level, but it cut deeper than any shout could have. "You saw a young woman standing with grace and quiet confidence, and your first instinct was to belittle her, to rip her dignity off her chest in front of 300 people. Natalia's eyes watered, but she didn't cry. She stood tall, the torn dress barely clinging to her frame, hand still holding it closed. Elias walked over, removed his suit jacket, and gently placed it over her shoulders. He didn't care that people were watching. His hands rested on her shoulders as if saying, "You don't have to stand alone anymore." Then he turned back to his mother. "You didn't just insult my wife. You insulted every woman in this room who's ever been judged by her clothes, her posture, or her silence. And the worst part, you did it so effortlessly, like you've done it before." "I didn't know," Veronica whispered. "No, you didn't want to know." The guests who had been watching quietly began to shift. Some applauded, not loudly, but enough. Others nodded. The catering staff paused at the edges of the room, their eyes wide with something close to relief. "She didn't need to be defended," Elias continued, "but she deserved it. And I'm ashamed that it took me watching you hurt her to finally say this. Your title doesn't make you a lady. Your cruelty does. Veronica's mouth opened, but no words came. Natalia, still calm, finally spoke. Her voice was soft but clear. I never needed your approval. I only hoped for your decency. With that, she turned with Elias, walking back across the ballroom, head held high. Some guests stepped aside with quiet admiration. One woman even whispered, "That's real elegance." As they disappeared up the marble staircase, Veronica stood in her designer heels, surrounded by people she once ruled, and now barely recognized. The girl she called a nobody had just walked away with every ounce of dignity she herself had lost. Don't let assumptions dress up as truth. Never mistake someone's silence for weakness. And never forget, real class doesn't scream, it endures. If this story touched you, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and drop a karma in the comments below.